By the way, this is only the first video in the 5-video series that I'm going to share with you what actually happened. It's so juicy. So if you want to know what happened next, stay tuned. Do you ever feel completely stuck, frozen, paralyzed when it comes to making a decision in life? You kind of know what you want, but there seems to be this internal war between your head and your heart. Well, recently I was there. In this video, I'm going to share with you what happened, how I moved through the resistance and really listened to it so I can actually receive what the universe was trying to tell me in this situation. How I examined my value system and discovered that they were actually clashing, which led to the resistance in the first place. The exact steps I took to realign and to move through that resistance physically, emotionally, mentally, energetically, and spiritually. And hopefully, and to provide you with a framework for you to make better decisions and come to clarity of what you truly want. Because sometimes in life we think we want this, but then you go a layer deeper and another layer deeper is actually this that you want. And hopefully by the end of this video, you won't just understand my stories and my process, but you also discover a way to meet your own resistance, whatever that might be, with grace, and make decision from a place of knowing and trusting and surrendering instead of ego and fear. So let's dive in. Early this year, I had a vision to build the first social wellness club in Da Nang, Vietnam. On the one hand, it's a great business idea, timing, market demand, everything makes sense from my logical head. But this isn't just another business idea. It is deeply connected to my own healing journey, coming back from death to life after fucking up my health and my relationship in so many ways. So the purpose was very clear when it comes to this project that I wanted to do, is to help as many people as possible to live a real embodied way of living. So at the beginning, everything flowed. I started doing market research. I started to build business plan, look at land options, found an amazing, one of the most talented architects in Vietnam, found and talked to different gym suppliers. And the momentum was so strong that I started to attract co-investors and potential partners through social media, through mutual friends, through reference. And meetings and calls and ideas were just in flow and everything felt alive. And it felt like all I had to do was just keep momentum, keep engaging deeply and choosing the right partners and just move forward. And then something shifted. I started to feel heavy, weighed down, stuck, frozen. Like from having so much momentum to not even having motivation to reply to people's messages. I just felt so paralyzed. Like I just want to shut down. I wanted to run away and not having to think about even this thing, which I was so energetic about. And from being so driven to drop to like almost zero care, there's this judgmental voice that starts to come up again. Coco, are you being a lazy ass? You are a lazy ass. But this time I caught it. I know better by now to not give that voice a power, because this isn't laziness. I know not be able to find an answer by thinking more, but to diving inside and to feel even deeper. So I take a pause. Take a pause. Yes, that's what you are going to do as the first thing. Take a pause and acknowledge that I'm experiencing a resistance. And what is the resistance? Pardon my drawing. This is you. This is your heart. This is your arm, your legs, and this is your head. So resistance happens when there is a lack of alignment. And what does it mean? What does lack of alignment mean? It means when your thoughts, your feelings, I don't know why, but I'm using hands and feet, and your action are in conflict. When your head, your heart, and your action are in conflict. That is what causing resistance. And there's a lack of alignment. When you're aligned is when the thoughts, the feelings, and your action are all the same. So let me give you an example. If your thought is, I want to lose weight, but you feel fat and you keep telling everybody that you feel fat, and your action is you keep eating burgers and you do not go to the gym, that is for sure a complete shit show of alignment. Now, if your thought is, I want to lose weight, and you feel like, this is okay, I will get better, I feel okay with my body, but your action is still eating burgers and no gym, that is still out of alignment. Until you get yourself to the place where I want to lose weight, I'm going to be slim, I feel okay, I feel hopeful and excited for this body transformation, and you choose to eat healthy and go to the gym. Until you can align your thoughts, your feeling, your action, all reflecting the same, and move in the physical world from that energetic space, that is when you're really actually going to start to drop weight. Because your physical reality is just a reflection of your inner vision. I cannot stress enough how important this first step is. This is the number one step to achieving everything you ever want in this life. By accepting and welcoming the resistance. Because so many of us, we eat away, drink away, snort away, drug away, fuck away, walk away, run away. We do all these crazy things to leave this space, this here and now, because it feels terrifying to feel deeper into the moment. And we're missing out on one of the most amazing opportunity to see clarity and to see truth. And I mean, I've done this so many times in my life that I feel like I haven't lived. And if you don't believe me, don't take my word for whatever, you know. But look into nature and you'll see it everywhere. I started to, I walk on the beach for sunrise as part of my morning routine. And I would jump into the ocean for a swim after. And I've noticed that the ocean is not going to stop being wild if we tense up. If there's a wave coming at me, and if I'm all stiff and want to fight back, 100% of the time I'm going to lose. But if I soften and I bend my knees and I surrender to the waves and I let them carry me, it carries me with grace. And I float. And when we tense against something, it hits us harder. Just like you see the bamboo trees, they surrender to the wind and that's why they stay for hundreds of years. But if it's hard and it's stiff and it's rigid and it just have this tension, it just clash. Two rocks coming and hits and it just, it's no life, that's death. So that's when I understood that surrender doesn't mean that we drown. It means that we float with life and let life carry us. And so I understand that this resistance coming up is a part of my magical process to alchemize whatever it is and to bring whatever I want into life. So I have to listen deeper and tune in and not run away and not dismissing and not judging and not avoiding, but just to be here. Moving to the second phase, which is the solution. I'm going to outline here all the major steps that I took to resolve the resistance and to come to my answer. Bear in mind, these are in a particular intentional order, and one has to follow the other, which I'm going to explain in details what this means a bit later. But these are all things when it comes to the solution. Number one is to accept. And this going to work on your emotional. Number two is using the breath to change your energetic state. Number three, we're moving to the mental realm using two different modalities. First is to examine your value system, and number two is to assess your priorities. This is now in your mental realm. Number four is embodied action that you can take to resolve the resistance. This is to do with your physical work. And number five is to let it go. And believe it or not, but it's a spiritual practice. So that complete all the components of this issue. Number one step was to accept and surrender. And this is to work with your emotional state. So the first thing that I did was to come back to a more neutral state within myself, a softer and more surrendered and more gentle and open emotionally and energetically. And I've learned to stop fighting my emotions and just learn to accept every messy feeling that comes up. Just like how I accept waking up today and it rained and I know that it's gonna be sunny later and it's okay if there's another shower. It's just the weather, it's just passing by. And just to be with it. And I had to talk to this 6-year-old Coco inside, that I had to whisper to the child inside me, the 6-year-old that needed to find all the answer, otherwise, you know, if she's not perfect, then nobody's gonna love her, that it's okay. It's okay to have conflicting values. You don't need to have all the answers right now. And it doesn't mean that I'm broken or I failed. It just actually means that the universe is asking me to expand because I have more capacity. So, and also to remember that confusion is a gift, because in knowing what you don't want, you come to more clarity of what you want, because that will be the opposite of what you don't want. So I made a conscious choice to not judge myself, not run away, not dismiss of what I was feeling, and just be okay with it. The second step is something I'm going to invite you to do with me now. Are you ready? Let the breath to be your anchor. The second step is something so simple and so powerful, and it's the most powerful way to change your energetic state through the breath. And practice longer, deep, slow, and present breath. The longer, the softer the exhales. Is you telling your nervous system that you are safe. You are safe. There's nothing to worry about, and everything is going to be okay. And that is when your body relaxes and your heart opens. And to those who go to the gym, do you realize that the capacity you create inside is the capacity that life's going to give you, aka the more oxygen I can breathe in and breathe out, the harder the workout I can ace. So to the capacity that you can receive is the capacity you can make things happen and you can create things in the world. And so the deeper I could hold the breath and the more oxygen I can invite in is the more trust and possibility and love that I claim, that I affirm to the universe, that give it to me. I'm ready to receive this. So my breath became my anchor and choose trust over fear. And the third step is to entering your mental realm. I sat down and examined my value system when it comes to this project. And what came up for me was health, love, and freedom. So my number one value is health. And for me, health is not just a word. It's not apps, it's not just numbers, it's not just a routine, but it's about choosing life itself. Because believe it or not, this Coco that you're seeing came back from the death to life. I used to be 42 kilograms. I was borderline anorexic. I was suffering from bulimia. I barely eaten anything, that to the point I lost half of my hair and I lost my period for over 3 years. And there were moments when it was so dark that I was seriously considering to leave the planet. So when I talk about health, it's not perfection. It means choosing life. It means loving and honoring my body as my temple, the only place where my spirit gets to live and create and dance and love. And health is my foundation. And it's been a personal experience for me. And because without it, I cannot love deeply, I cannot serve, I cannot even feel the freedom I crave so much. So that's my mission, that's my purpose, and that's the strongest value that really driving my desire to open this gym project. Then there's love, my second core value. For me, love is not just an idea or a romantic concept. Love is an action. Love is a choice I make every day, especially when it's easier to close my heart, but I choose to stay open. Love is a mission to show up in the real world and help people to feel alive, to be seen, and to be supported. And after my own healing journey from all the crazy things that I fuck up my health and all the heartbreaks from fucking up so many of my relationships all across board, I realized that coming back to life isn't just about my body getting back and getting stronger. It's about remembering my heart. It's also about my heart remembering how to love, loving myself, loving others, and loving life itself again. And that is why I wanted to open this gym project, because this isn't about machines, workouts, or routines. It's about creating a space where people are held, where they remember that they matter, and where love becomes something practical, physical, and embodied. So for me, love isn't just something that I feel in silence. Love is something that I build, something that I share, something that I bring into the world through my work, my presence, and my actions. And that's why love is one of the biggest core values when it comes to this project. And the third value that is very important to me is freedom. And this is when I find out exactly why the resistance happened. Because as beautiful as everything seems to be, there's a part of being engaged in this project are going to take away some of my freedom. So to examine this a little bit more in details, I'm going to show with you where the resistance happens. Because there were conflicting values. So my number one value, as I said, health. And for this project, it ticks. My number two value was love, and it completely aligns with the purpose of this project. And there's number three, which is freedom. So this is where the clash happens. There is a part of engaging this project that is going to take away some of my freedom. The freedom from having to managing so many people like I did in the past. The freedom from the pressure to control everything so nothing goes wrong. The freedom from the fear that if I'm not there, things will fall apart. And then also the freedom to choose how and when I want to live, to move into love from softness and not from duty. And that's where this project, no matter how beautiful as it is, it brings up a real conflict inside me. Because if I say yes, I know it means being physically present, my energy, my time, my body tied to one place for a while. And a part of me is still longing to stay open and light and be able to move and to follow where life and love might call me. So it seems like we are at the crossroad with the freedom. And then I've got to think, how can I resolve this issue? What if real freedom doesn't come from never committing? And what if freedom comes from trusting? So another layers of this is my ability to trust others. Trusting that I can find and attract the right people to run the business with. Trust that I'm going to build a system that it can run on its own even though when I'm not there. Trusting my allowing to delegate and to let other people to do it. Trusting in the fact that I do not have to hold it all together and all by myself. And trusting that I'm only a catalyst that the universe is using to spread this love and health mission. And if my ego is shrinking down to a tiny little bit of dust, which it is, then I'm just realizing that I can receive so much help from the universe. And so exploring my value of freedom and the challenges that I apparently face of me engaging in this project make me realize that I need to work on my ability to trust others. Because if I can do that, I will achieve freedom. All those things, health, love, freedom, they do not float separately. They're all tied to one big part of my life, which is my mission, my purpose, my work, my career. And so after examining my value system and my priorities, it came down to two truths that I could not ignore. These are the two biggest resistance that I faced, and also where I need to put the work in. Number one is my value for freedom, which only can be achieved by trusting others. And number two is realizing that for me at this season in my life and at this stage, a relationship is more important than another project. And regardless of how much I talk about relationship, and actually maybe the reason why I've studied about this and I'm so fascinated about this is it is the area in my life that I actually need to step up the most to manifest what I want. I seem to have no issue with a lot of other departments in my life. All my youth was dedicated to study. I manifested going to the UK to boarding school since I was 9 years old. All my 20s was dedicated to working and building things and accomplishing and finding my sense of self in the world. All the last 3-4 years, I was dedicated to healing, to unlearning, to learning, and to coming back to my authentic self and to the woman inside me. And it just seems like the next logical step in my path of evolution, that this is now the phase where I put relationship as the forefront, as something that I truly desire. And I do not know why, but it seems to be still the most challenging department in my life, which I know with absolute faith that just like anything else in life that I could manifest and I can speak life into existence, he is so close. I can feel him in my presence. Number 4 is to get out of our head and get into our body. These are simple, easy, embodied, practical steps to take to feel into the feeling of freedom and trusting and safety. And this works with our physical body. So I do things like walking barefoot on the beach and let the sand, Mother Earth to support my weight. I'd lie on the grass, on the floor, and letting the law of gravity to support my back. I'd go for a swim and usually I would have my head up because I'm always sensing for dangers. But this time I'm actually letting my head to go under the water and trusting that the waves and the water is going to support my neck and just letting go. I would even leave my phone and my bag on the beach bed and go for a walk. And knowing that, this is a super safe, my home is within a exclusive resort that no one outside has access inside. So I feel super safe and trusting that everyone around me had the best intention and nobody going to take my possessions. So doing all these things to let my body experience the feeling of trust and safety in real time. I would also choose music that really uplifting and music with the pure melody and intention and energy of trusting life versus all the songs that talk about heartbreaks and mistrusting and misery, because music is super powerful frequency and you have the control to choose. I used to have so much OCD about my hair has to be perfect. And one of the practice I was doing was after swimming, I would just let my hair to dry naturally without having to wash it straight away because it's pretty clean. And this also helps me to feel my body, the relaxation of not having to manage so many details. And all of these are to generate the real feeling in real time and let your body and your nervous system to actually experience this, so that it becomes now your reality. Safety is real, trusting is real, surrendering is real, everything around you supporting you is real. So these actions are not about proving anything. These were about teaching my body and my nervous system that it is safe to trust. And finally, the last step is to just let it be. To trust that what I'm planting, my clarity, my embodied trust, my intention, my pure desire to bring goodness into this world don't need to be forced to grow. Like a seed in the dark, it doesn't need me to dig it up every day. It needs my love, my softness, and my patience. And just to let life meet me. And once I bask myself in these good feelings, I let it go. Now the resistance is resolved. Now it's complete. Now I move the energy through the top of my head to the tip of my toes. So these are the steps of how I move through my resistance. And by accepting what was real, coming back to my breath, refocusing the energy of what I truly want instead of focusing energy on what I don't want, practice it in my body, doing all the things to generate the feeling of trust, surrendering, and safety that my body and my nervous system can feel in real time. And then letting it go and trusting that the universe is going to come back to me with the solution. All I have to do is to get myself into the state where I can be a clear channel and a clean vessel to receive the light. So this is how I move through some of the resistance I felt in my life lately. By accepting what was real, coming back to my body, stay with my breath, refocusing my energy towards what I want versus putting energy into what I do not want, practicing in my body, and then letting life do its part. If you're in a moment right now where you feel like you're in conflict with yourself, I hope this helps to provide you an approach, a holistic approach to resolve the resistance. And thank you for sharing this space with me. Feel everything. Act gently. Breathe deeply. And trust that clarity going to come when you dare to move and to be. Even with an open and trembling heart. Thank you for sharing this space with me. And let me know in the comment, what are some of the resistance or conflict that you are going through right now? And let's hold space for each other. I'm going to do a short summary of the whiteboard explanation of the whole process so that you can apply that to your situation. And I love you so much, and until the next time.